We're debating how to...
There's just no question at all whatsoever that you see an incendiary explosion. You see the incendiary smoke. There's no question. You can't deny it. And then you see the exit wound.
I don't know, Stewie. I have some questions. So I'm sure by now you've all seen the latest theory regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. As you saw Stu Peters say, he definitively thinks that the lav mic on Charlie Kirk's shirt was actually an incendiary device, a bomb that went off, and that's actually what killed Charlie. If you're not familiar with them, this is what the lav mics look like. You can see the magnet on the outside of the piece of clothing, and then the microphone and electronics on the inside. And these mics are used to record audio independently from your camera so that you could sync up the audio later and it's really clear and crisp. And Charlie wore these all the time. It's actually the exact same unit. There's no doubt that Charlie was wearing this exact mic on the day he was assassinated. You could see him here fidgeting with it. You could even see the weight of the microphone actually pulling on his shirt. Okay, so there's no doubt that Charlie really was wearing one of those lav mics like Stu claims, but that's not the problem. The problem is that Stu makes two very distinct claims that we need to take a look at.
There's just no question at all whatsoever that you see an incendiary explosion. You see the incendiary smoke. There's no question. You can't deny it. Check the trajectory of the round that was deployed from that lavalier lapel mic. That went directly from Charlie Kirk's lapel. That went directly from underneath Charlie Kirk's white t-shirt up through his neck and created the exit wound that we told you was an exit wound immediately when we saw that exit wound. First we had exploding pagers, now we have exploding mics.
Okay, so did you catch it? Stu Peters claims that the lav mic on Charlie's shirt was actually an incendiary device. And not only did that bomb explode, just like the pagers, which Israel used to take out a bunch of Hamas terrorists about a year ago, but that mic also shot a round through Charlie Kirk's neck, underneath his t-shirt, through his neck, and out the other side. Because Stu Peters claims that the hole we saw is an exit wound from whatever that mic shot through the neck. But do you guys even remember the pager bombs and what they looked like? But let's be honest, those pager bombs did not look anything like what happened to Charlie. Charlie's shirt just gets puffed up, as if some air from maybe a bullet hitting him puffs his shirt up. I don't know. But he definitely doesn't get blown apart like the pager bomb guys. But then to make it make sense, because we all saw what happened to his neck, there's a bomb in the mic that shoots a bullet that goes under this side, out the other side. But then there's no blood on his shirt on this side where the bullet must have entered, right? There's only blood on this side. We all saw what happened to Charlie. We saw that after he got shot, his whole body stiffened up. And everybody, every expert out there has said that the only way that can happen is if he got shot in the spine. But if the lav mic is here and the exit wound is here, how did it go into his spine first? For Stu's theory to be correct, that lav mic would have to explode, then shoot a projectile backwards to hit the spine, and then ricochet off the spine to produce the exit wound out of the front of the neck. I don't know about that, guys. Seems like kind of a stretch. And the wound, if that's the exit wound, it's on the front of Charlie's neck. It's right next to his Adam's apple. So how could a lav mic on the front of his shirt right here produce an exit wound next to his Adam's apple? This shooting a projectile would barely graze his Adam's apple. Otherwise, you'd see an entry wound and it would probably shoot out of the back somewhere. It would not be shooting out right here from this spot here. There's no way that that's possible. And you can see the trajectory of a projectile from here. Where is it entering in the body to produce a hole next to the Adam's apple? It doesn't make sense. This looks like a bullet entered the front of his neck. There's no other way to get this angle from this side of the body. And if that's the explosion, the moment of the explosion, and they claim that that white part right there is smoke, how is his shirt not damaged? How's there no scorching? How's there no ripping, no nothing to the shirt itself from an explosion? And whether you believe it or not, it is hard to believe, but the surgeon said that they found the bullet during surgery in Charlie's neck, stuck in his vertebrae basically. But if Peter's theory is correct, the bullet would have went from the lav mic out the neck and nothing stuck in the vertebrae, right? So somebody here is lying, or somebody here is just wrong. And let's not forget, Candace swears that she saw the footage from that camera right behind Charlie. And she said there's no blood on the back of his neck. There's no exit wound on the back of his neck, which would validate what the surgeon said, that the bullet got stuck in his vertebrae. But if Stu's theory is correct, and if we know for a fact that the only way you can stiffen up like that is if you get hit in the spine first, the bullet would have had to go backwards into his neck and then ricochet off the vertebrae forward out of this side of his neck. That's the only physical possibility for Stu Peters' claim to be factual. Also, do you realize how flimsy that thing is? It's just hanging off of a t-shirt. There's no support, there's no backing. Like if it's to explode and shoot something out, it would move as it explodes. You're telling me that they risked not even hitting him with the projectile just because it's on a flimsy t-shirt, which the wind could blow around? Stu also claims that that white mass right there underneath the shirt is smoke from the explosion. But honestly, I've never seen smoke act like that. And that's definitely not how the smoke acted after the explosions of the pagers. This is what smoke looks like from the pagers exploding. Also, that guy's bag got torn apart. Charlie's shirt didn't even have soot on it. That is what smoke looks like from the pagers. That guy's in pieces. And you can't say, oh, Charlie's explosion wasn't smoky because it was contained under the shirt. This guy's pager was in a bag. This guy's pager is under his shirt tied to his belt loop. A lot of smoke. So obviously something does actually happen with Charlie's shirt when he gets shot, and it looks pretty interesting, right? But is it more likely that there's a bomb under his shirt that kind of produces contained smoke and then shoots a bullet that hits the back of his spine and then ricochets out the front of his neck? Or is it just a shockwave from a dude getting shot right above the collar of the shirt, so when it hits, it produces a shockwave and blows his shirt up? Which one of those do you think is more reasonable? Listen, I'm all about a good conspiracy, and I definitely want to get to the bottom of what happened to Charlie. I also think there's some gaping holes in the mainstream narrative that's put out there. But honestly, I just don't think this is the explanation. I don't think that this is a bomb that shot something into his neck. I don't think the trajectory supports it. So definitely, let's keep asking questions. Let's keep the pressure on. Where's the FBI in all of this? How are they not coming out and putting any of these conspiracies to rest? They literally just need to release 3 extra seconds of footage off the rooftop to dispel a bunch of rumors. Or they just need to release some other angles of camera footage to dispel some rumors. Why aren't you guys doing that? Why are you letting Americans and the world just spin out of control with this stuff? I also think that that's a huge red flag, that the FBI is not coming out and dispelling any of this stuff. But nevertheless, I do think I raised some pretty good questions regarding the lavalier bomb explosion theory thingy. So I don't know if this gets to Stu Peters and he's got any responses, or to this guy. Sorry, I don't know your name. I'd be interested in hearing a response.